the new tomorrow. Shatter! Godly fiends, let them die.
Obey me!
Utopia cannot be stopped. You don't stand a chance. The Savior is precious. He is all that matters. Your time is shorter than you think. Your corpse will feed the new tomorrow. You had your chance. My flesh is unimportant.
Too easy.
Now!
Burn to ash, demon of Axolotl! I plan for every contingency. Existence, we shall nurture. We split the thread of reality's coiling lies. We that fail. Land of Minion is nigh.
Just like that.
Again,
Done.
and again, and again.
Infernalist. Hello there, guys. It's your boy Fluffy Peanuts. Once again, we're doing another minion build, but this time it is Infernalist. So right now on Mobilytics, we have 3 different minion builds that you can use in 0.4 that I specifically built. And if you guys been watching my live streams right here on YouTube, okay, you will be noticing that I've been sitting there testing out these builds and building different characters as we play. So with that being said, what's the difference between, because we already got a shaman, oracle, and we also got a infernalist build now for the minions. Okay, so basically the rundown is we're getting more DPS out of our infernalist, and we're also getting, with this build, we're getting more DPS, and we're also getting more spirit. We can increase our spirit. I'll be talking about that later, but as of right now, we're doing pretty good for ourselves, and we got some good defenses as well, because we all know what the ascendancies of the Infernalist does. You know, we get plus to health for every, for every spirit there is, and vice versa. So with that being said, okay, let's dive right into this. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the showcase of this build in action, but now let's get down to the nitty gritty. Okay, so let's go ahead and check this out. Alright, as you guys can tell right here at the top, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different minions, and you're probably wondering why we're doing that. Well, we'll get into that. We're going to go ahead and look at our skills right here. Okay, so what we're doing here, alright, we're an Infernalist, so we get an extra minion. We get to summon Infernal Hound, okay, and the main reason why we want to stack the minions as we do, okay, besides our single target, DPS skills, the reason why we want to do this because of muster, the skill muster. What that does, it adds 7% damage per undead minion that we have. Each one of our minions count as undead because they are revivable. All right, so we're basically trying to max that out. There's not really a cap to that. So we're taking advantage of that. So as an Infernalist, we're obviously going to get more DPS than we would on our Shaman and Oracle builds. If you want to check out those builds, they're pretty good, pretty solid, really good builds as well. What's good about these minion builds, you can use the same type of armor, the same weapons, the same focus, the same amulets, the rings, and all that on all three of these minion builds. Okay, all right. If you want to test them out, but you already spent a crap ton of currency on the armor that you already have, don't worry. My builds are universal, and they will work with that same armor set. Okay, as you will notice if you look at the builds, I'm pretty much using the same armor set. So basically the same concept. Okay, so let's do the rundown of our let's do a quick skill rundown. Okay, I'm not going to go through all of them. All right, that will take too long, but all right, we're going to point out the most important ones. Okay, if you want to check any of this build out for yourself, the Mobalytics is going to be linked down in the description below on my home, and it's going to bring you up to the home page of my Mobalytics profile, and you will see the other minion builds that I have. Now I've labeled them 0.4, so make sure you check that out if you're looking at the one from last league and you notice that there's a belt that you cannot get anymore, or there's multiple Relicash idols in there. You know, please note that you cannot put multiple Relicash idols in on your character anymore. Okay, they nerfed the crap out of that. All right, so we can't get as much as we could back in 0.3, which is okay. All right, but we made it work. Okay, so let's get down to it. So we got the Infernal Hound right here. This is a freebie, free 7% DPS. Okay, well, we want to run in this. We're going to put Meat Shield in there. Okay, we're not really worried about the DPS output of this Infernal Hound. This is basically just another minion to have on the field, so that way we can get an increased 7% towards our other minions, because we're going to use muster on multiple minions. Okay, so we're going to want that. We're going to put element on our armament 2. Okay, to increase attack damage, give it a little bit of deep attack damage boost. And we got hulking minions. It increases, making them gigantic. Okay, what's good about the hulking minion, I know what you guys are thinking. Okay, well, if you use that, is it going to cost you more spirit? No, it does not, because you want to know why? Because this minion is free, so it doesn't cost us spirit. So we can do that, and it'll increase the DPS of this minion as well. We're just throwing it in there just to have fun. Okay, so we're going to down to Skeleton Warrior. We're going to get this from our Scepter, Skeletal Scepter. These are also 2 free minions as well. Okay, but we're only going to put 2 things in there. But it's just like the Hound. We're just using it for the free DPS percentage. Okay, on our main power Zilliot skill that we're going to be, you know, our main Zilliot. Our main minion is going to be doing a lot of DPSing, you know what I'm saying? So what we're going to put in that is hulking minions as well, because why not? It is free. It does not increase our spirit. Okay, then we're going to do rapid attacks, give it a little bit more of attack speed. And we can also, you know, fill these up as well if we wanted to. Like, we can probably we can sit there and mimic the other 2 slots for, you know, whatever you put on your brute or whatever for this build. But we don't really have to. It's not necessary. We're just, like I said, we're just using it for the free DPS it is going to be providing. Now if we wanted to have a little bit more extra life, we'll obviously put in Meat Shield too, which I probably will do after this video. Okay, so then we're going to want Sigil Power. We're going to be using a chiming staff that has Sigil Power, because it will increase, you know, the effectiveness of the DPS of our minions that are inside that circle. Okay, so that's what we're going to be using as well to get a little bit more single target DPS boost. Okay, but I've been having a problem. I don't know if this has been a common thing with a lot of people, but when I'm swapping between the skills, okay, for my minion side of things, it's not picking up on it. Okay, so like I'll show you right here. Look, we got 3, so we got 3 different types of minions out. Then when I go and I hit that, it's good. Okay, but now when you're inside and you're actually doing some DPS, I think it's because it's causing a lag, because we have so many specters out there and the pixelation, it's not optimized. What it does, it slows it down. It'll say that you're already swapped over there and you drop that skill that we just did, which was elemental weakness. It will not register all the minions up here like it just did. So keep that in mind. Okay, you not necessarily don't have a Sigil Power. It's just something extra DPS. We are doing just fine with just using elemental weakness on a single target with Pain Offering. We're still doing a lot of DPS. Okay, so we're going to go down here to Powered Zilliots. All right, for Powered Zilliots, okay, if you want to know where to get these bad boys, all right, this is your first time playing PoE2 or Minion build, In general, we're going to go to our interludes, and you're going to go right here where it says Etched Ravine. This is where you're going to get it. You know you're in the right spot when there's a walkway. It's going walkway. Seems like it's a side of a mountain type ordeal that's closed in, but you're going to go here on the Etched Ravine, and there's going to be Val guards that be spitting out electric balls at you. Okay, that's their version of Spark for the NPCs. So once you see that NPC doing that, okay, as a Val guard, you're going to want the one that's 55 spirit. That's laying on the ground. That's the one that you want. If you don't know if you got the right one, it's pretty simple to tell if you do or not, because all you got to do is click on the info. If it says Spark right there, you got the right one. Okay, now what I know what other people are saying too is that, well, what if I mess up and I got the wrong one? That is fine. You know where you go back in town and take the skill off, put it in your inventory, go to the lady that sits there, or the lady or person, I don't know who does it in there, that goes in desecrates, not desecrates, but reforges or whatever, disenchant. Okay, do that, it'll bring it back to Binding Spectre Jewel. Okay, now you can get these at a level, Jewel level 7. So I believe that's like 22, level 22 or something like that. People, I'm not accurate with that. That's fine, but I'm pretty sure it's 22, level 22, which is all you need to go and grab that. So if you have a buddy that plays already, and they already went through the mapping, just have them, hey, just poke them a nudge. Hey, can you put that a 5 socket for me and quality it up? I need a level 7. Bind it to Binding Spectre, and can you go to the interlude and grab this Power Zelia for me? If you're going to do that at the level 22, man, you'll be rocking right through the freaking mapping like it's nothing. Like butter. And the only thing you're going to do is do the level 1 tiers of these skill gems. Okay. All right. You don't even have to get Dial's Touch. Just put Pierce in there, and you're just going to steamroll through the maps. It's going to be pretty self-explanatory and easy, and it's just going to mow down. Now, if you guys don't know what good links to use for, for mapping, well, not mapping, but what for, what permanents that you can get in the campaign and stuff, okay, you guys can always join the Discord. It's in the description of this video as well, and go down to the PoE 2 section. I got a lot of useful links in there that will help you out with mapping, crafting, and also running through the campaigns. I put useful links in there every time when I find them, and also got a Val section as well that little bit explains it that somebody made. I also put it in there as well for the Val Temple. Okay, so moving on. I just went on a little side rant there. I'm sorry. So for our Power Zeliats, we're going to want plus 21. Okay, now I've been making this other build, not really making it, but I made this other build. I went off of one of the other big streamers, okay, for the Oracle. It's a really good build. It uses reverse elemental weakness. I did not know that you can get plus 21s with an increased quality percentage. Okay, so that's very interesting to me, because if you can get that, and I mean, now granted, everything's probably going to be super duper expensive if you do that. You can potentially push out more minions, because the higher the quality of your spirit, the higher the quality of the jewel socket, okay, the less it's gonna take from your spirit. All right, spirit cost for these minions. All right, so keep that in mind. You don't have to do that, but you're definitely gonna want a plus 21 skill gem 5 socket. Okay, now we're gonna muster. This is what I've been talking about from the beginning of going over the skills. Muster, all right, is going to give us a 7% more damage for each different type of reviving minion. So you don't want to save the multiple. We can't even add multiple anyways. So you're going to want one of each of what I put it in here. I went with the cheapest ones that I could find, okay, that we can use. Okay, now if you're wondering, does Binding Specters, okay, also count as a minion damage on this? And it is absolutely no. It does not count. I already tested out. It does not count. I might be wrong. I might be missing it, but it does not count. I did not see a jump in DPS. Okay, so with that being said, you're just going to do the regular minions that you can get from popping in skills. So we're going to do muster. All right, get that damage increase Feeding Frenzy as well too. It's going to give us even more DPS. Then we're going to do Projectile Acceleration. It gives us that chance for piercing, so that way the ball projectile, the spark, will have the potential 40% increase to go right through the monster and hit the next person behind him. All right, there, and it also increases our projectile speed that our casting minions do, because they do shoot out projectiles. Then I went with the Isla's Desire. Now you can add this same setup for the Shaman and the Oracle as well on my builds on Mobilytics. Okay, I just decided to do this and bite the bullet. All right, so with this and all right, we're increasing our DPS by 10%, and we're able to get another minion. All right, so with that being said, we were rocking about 11, now we can do 12. All right, so what it does, it increases the quality of your skill gem, which is what I mentioned before. If you want to get, you can get a corrupted skill gem that's a higher quality, plus 21 as well, but you're going to be looking at a lot of div if you buy that. So but it also this right here adds 10% on top of their quality, so we're rocking 35% because we got a 5% amulet as well, and we were able to get an extra 30 spirit and to use another, grant us another specter. We went from 11 to 12. All right, and it's also going to increase the DPS of your specter as well by tenfold. All right, now Wild Shards 2, we're going to want this on here. It gives us a 25% chance that our balls will turn into 8. All right, 25% chance per specter that we have out on the field. Now our DPS for this right here, as you can tell, is 47,000 DPS. Okay, you can get something similar to that with the Shaman. You could probably get more than that with the Oracle, but with the Oracle, the downside about the Oracle, you cannot push out. With my build that I have shown you can't push out as many power Ziliots as you can with the Oracle and the Shaman. The Shaman, you're going to get more power Ziliots. The Infernalist, you can potentially get the same, but you're looking at picking and going with the decreased amount of life that you can find on all your items. So you're basically just nitpicking at that point, and that's where it's going to skyrocket in value. All right, what you're going to be paying. So with that being said, okay, we're rocking 47,000 DPS. Now if you take this off, this Isla's Desire, which is a 22 div, it costs 22 div, it's a unique, okay, support gem. Okay, if you take this off, we're rocking 39,000 DPS with this build right here with our passive tree. That's still a lot of DPS. Okay, 0.3, I was only getting 21 or 23 if I was lucky. And I was still rocking through all the maps with that much. Okay, so there you go. Now our second most important minion that we're going to have as well is going to be the Skeletal Cleric. Now this is our pretty much our Shaman, okay, or I don't know how many RPG games you guys played, but this is our healer. All right, this right here is our healer. We're going to use one unique, as you also know, is going to be Brutus Brain. Brutus Brain is the go-to for all minion builds when you put in a cleric on your build. What it does, in case it's the healer, it heals our minions, all right, but if you put this in there, they do not die, but they cannot do damage, which is fine because they're a healer. They don't need to do damage. Okay, now what I recommend with the cleric, okay, once you got all your +1s to all of your minions here, what I recommend is that if you have any spirit left over, okay, do not put it in one of your attack minions. If you have enough to put it into a cleric, because clerics are pretty cheap, as of right here it's 22, so basically it costs 11 spirit with this build. Pump those numbers up for your cleric. Your minions will last longer. You will thank me later. Okay, so that's if you have any leftover spirit. Okay, whatever build you're going with your gear. Okay, magnified area 2. We're going to want that increased area effect, rapid casting, obviously minion mastery gives us another +1, and death march means with the score skills heal allied minions within 3 meters for 25% of the supported hero's life and on death, as well as removing all annulments from those minions, which is baller. Okay, so now this is where we're going to skip Okay, we've been ranting on. All right, I want to get you guys through this gem side. All right, now, as you can tell, our power auxiliates are level 34. You're wondering how I do that? I will show you. It's all gear based. And, okay, so we're going to go down this list. 34, 32, 33, 32, 33, 26, and we got 21, 33. All right, so with all of these, go ahead and check mobile analytics. Just throw stuff in there for Frost Mage, Sniper, Cleric, okay, and the Brute, and we're using a Skeletal Reaver as well because it was the cheapest minion to get, and we're also going to be using Elemental Weakness for single target damage and Pain Offering as well to increase the DPS. Okay. So our important ones to get to level 21. The rest of these I got them at level 20 because 21s for each one of these are, you're talking 5 div plus. Some majority of them, like the Brute's like 8 div the last time I looked. Okay, so with Elemental Weakness, Pain Offering, and your Binding Spectre Gem, your Power Auxiliates, you're going to want those to plus 21s. The rest of them I recommend do plus 20s because the higher your skeletal, not your skeletal reavers, but the higher your skilled minion skills are, okay, the less cost it's going to cost for those minions for spirit. Okay, that's a big thing. Make sure they're all 20s, at least 20s for all your other minions. Besides, I will say, I was going as far as say, besides Cleric, Power Auxiliate for your minions. Make those plus 21s with 21 quality. With 20 quality as well, and you want 21 for Elemental Weakness and Pain Offering. That's it. Okay, that is your that's your skills right there. All right, so now let's check out our gear. And before we do that, if you want to know how much DPS you're getting, if you do Pain Offering, okay, we're gonna do Pain Offering. Boom. How much DPS do we get? Come on, come on, come on. 70,000. Just saw that. 70,000. 70,000 DPS. 73,000 with the power sigil. We only get like 3K. So we went from, what was it, 49K to, was it 73? There you go. Get a big boost on that. Okay, now let's go ahead and look at our gear. Our gear here, we're going to use a scepter. This is important for your scepter. All right. The importance of your scepter, you want to try to get as much spirit as you can on it. I want to try to get maxing it out because you're looking at probably mirror worth, or not really mirror worth, but several hundred div. So what I suggest on this scepter, for spirit wise, anything 150 is good. Put plus 80, plus anything above 80% increase of damage is what you're also going to want for allies and presence, and 20% cast speed, and plus 4 to plus 3 minion skills. Okay, if you wanted a cheap scepter where you're doing a decent amount of DPS and still wiping maps, still doing pinnacle content, get a plus 3. Okay, but make sure your spirit's above 150 and make sure your damage is above 80, and you want to max out that cast speed for all allies as well. Okay, everything else doesn't really matter. That is up to you, your choice. Okay, that is our scepter. Now, like I said, cheaper option, you're going to want to go with a plus 3. Okay, with at least 150 spirit total, and you're going to want at least above 80% increased damage and 20% cast speed, and plus 3 in the minion skills, and critical damage if you want more DPS. Flat damage for, just take a wild guess, a wild note here. Flat damage for our minions does not matter. It does not affect them. Okay. At least for our power auxiliates, that's our main DPS, or that's what we're going to want. Flat damage does not matter to us for our power auxiliates. Okay. And what we put right here is 30% increased damage for all allies and presence. We're going to use a primate idol. Those are pretty cheap. All right. So now we're going to go down to our gloves. Our gloves are your standard. We're going to want to go life and energy shield. Okay, we go life and energy shield. I'll show you right here. Right now, our energy shield's 10,000 and our life is 2,000. This is our DPS, and we're going to want to max out our reses as much as you can. Try to get a little bit of chaos in there. All right. I also want a rarity on some of the gear, and some of the gear I did not. So for our gloves right here, I want your basic standard, as much flat life as you can get, or strength as well. It's up to you, or both. All right. Then you're going to want the rest of it just resistances, and you're going to want to try to get as much energy shield on your gloves. All right. Now the next thing is our belt. We're using a normal belt. We went with the resistances on this and get extra more flat life. Okay, that's basically what you want. All right, you're not going to get energy shield on your belt. You're always going to get armor. There is no energy shield belt, I don't think. I'm pretty sure there isn't. Now our boots is the only unique piece of armor that we're going to be using for this build. That's all you need. All right, we got this right here is really important. Super important. All right, so we got 13% movement speed on these boots. Okay, but that doesn't really matter for us because we're using the Aminu's Gaze inside these bad boys, which last time when I bought these, it was 8 div or 6 div, something like that. I've had these boots for a long time. Okay, so we're gonna want the main reason why we're using only this unique, because our 35 increase in reservation efficiency of skills with created undead minions. So this counts all across the board for all of our minions. Okay, reservation efficiency. Basically, we want this for the modifier, for that modifier. That's the only one that we care about on here, because what it does is lower the cost of spirit or our minions. All right, 30% and above is what I suggest. 30% is pretty cheap. 35, I think, is, in my personal opinion, is top tier. Okay, you can go higher, 37 or whatever, but it's not worth it to me. In my opinion, it is not worth it to go and try to get that extra 2%. Okay, you're only going to get probably 5 extra spirit. All right, but if you want to go there, go ahead, go that route. They're expensive. I'm letting you know right now with 37%. Go with 30 or 35. 35, I believe, was about 40 div last time I looked. Let's go right here. Yep, 45 div. All right. Well, you can get 30 percenters. I'll show you that as well. 30 percenters. You're looking at about less than a div. Okay, for 30%. All right, now we're going to go to our mirrors. I went with rarity mirrors. We're going to 105% rarity. Okay. I went with flat life, and I also went with resistances. And yeah, so you want rarity, life, and resistances. That's all you need for your rings, for both rings. Okay, that's what I did. This one right here, I went with intelligence if you need a little bit more intelligence. If you're wondering how much intelligence does this build require to get our mania skills activated with plus 21s, it's only 157 intelligence. If you really want to, take the rest of it. If you have extra attributes left over on your passive tree because of your gear, I will straight go for the health nodes, because more health we get, the more spirit we get, more energy shield we get. Okay, keep that in mind. All right, so now we're going to go over here to our valve row. We want as much energy shield as we can get on this. I actually crafted this and got lucky and corrupted it. I almost shit my pants because I thought I was going to brick it, but I didn't. I lucked out. So what I did with this, we want energy shield, as much energy shield as we can get, and this one rolled intelligence, which is fine. Okay, because we can take some of those passive intelligence nodes and turn them into strength nodes to give us more health, more spirit, and more energy shield on top of that. And I went with just for resistance. I try to go as much spirit as you can possibly get, but possibly get on your chest piece as well, so that way we can get more power zillions, right? So I'm on 60 spirit. Anything above 50 is optimal, obviously. Now our helmet here is very unique. It's got a modifier, it corrupted and gained a +1 to all minion skills. These helmets will get expensive. super expensive. Okay, and we wanted as much energy shield as we can possibly get for this build. And we also want +2 minion skills is very important. Now you do not need the extra minion skill, okay, that it corrupts into, but it does help out more DPS. Keep that in mind. But is it necessary? No, it is not. Okay, you want to go to the cheaper route, just get one that has +2 to minion skills. All right, that's it. And we're going to need, and obviously have one single socket with 20%. If you get 2 sockets, that's great. Use the other socket to, you know, to cap out your resists. And what we're putting in the socket in this one, this is very important, and it is a must. The Idol of Relicash. Okay, we're only allowed to put one of these on our build at all times. It's 8% increase reservation efficiency on all minion skills. Makes them cost 8% less. Okay, that is a big one that we want. Now we're going to go over here to the amulet. The amulet, you do not need to do +3 minion skills. You can do +2 and still rock all the content, which is fine. Okay, but you're going to want this anointed with Warlord Leader to give us an extra 40% DPS. And you're going to want to try to get as much spirit as you can on your amulet. Okay, with the +2 to minion skills. Okay, now I found this thing. I saved a lot of divvies up for this bad boy. This amulet is very hard to find on the market, and I doubt there is one. We can double check, because if you look at that last modifier on the bottom of that list at a desecrate, which I'm pretty sure you can probably do it, you're just going to have to keep rolling in an Omen Lighten like a crap ton of times. Okay, if you really want this. +5 to quality of all skills, so basically it increases the spirit, lessens the spirit cost as well for our minions. Okay, so 17% increased rarity is what we also want. Then we're going to go with our focus over here, +2 to minion skills. Okay, these things are pretty cheap. As much energy shield as you can possibly get is also what you want in as well. All right, try to get some life on there. You don't really need the mana. Try to get life or strength if you want. I don't know if you can with the energy shield, because the energy shield's more int. Okay, but you're definitely going to want +2. All right, that is it for the skills. Down here in the charms, do whatever. Get a good flask, get a good mana flask. I found this on the ground. I just haven't taken it out. All right, and our residual power on our weapon set too. It does not matter what level the residual power is. I'll say 18 above. That's it, because we're not really using this when we're using our minions. All right, now we're going to move over to our skills. All right, for our passive tree, we are Infernalists. Okay, this is what we're going to want on our ascendancy root. This is how we get our infernal hat. We're going to get this node, then we're going to get these 2 nodes over here as well, because this is +1 to maximum energy shield per maximum life. That's how we got 10,000 energy shield pretty easily. You'll probably get more than that if we swap out our gear, but I am not looking at making this like a 5 mirror build. Okay, there's no need for that. Armor pieces are pretty easy to craft. There is a couple really good ones, good showcases on how to build all right, how to craft it. Okay, then we're going to take this node over here, +1 to spirit, maximum spirit per 25 maximum life. Okay, 1 maximum energy shield per maximum life, and we're also going to get +1 to maximum spirit for every 25 maximum life. So that's why we want to try. Right now I got 2,000 life. Okay, but it also puts in a reserve. Okay, so it's going to cut it in half, but that's why, you know, for your gear wise, you want to try to stack as much life as you can, plus with the attributes as well. Try to do as much strength as you can as well, because every 5 gives you more life, right? So we went down to the left side right here, we went right straight down the middle. We were getting all of these damage nodes for minions. If you're mapping, that's what you want to do. Don't worry about the energy shields. Don't worry about the energy shield ones until you're done with mapping, okay? All right, if you're trying to sit there and go through this and you're looking at this and you're creating this character, this is what you want to do. All right, just take all the damage nodes, nodes until you get all of them, which is probably going to be like in the second interlude or the first interlude that you're going to run into, okay? Then after that, that's when you start taking these energy shield nodes. All right, and you'll get through the mapping, not mapping, but you'll get through the campaign pretty quickly. Okay, all right. Now I'm going to point out a couple of things here, okay, that is very important that we're going to want, like our jewels. And this node right here, we're going to want this right here. Will give us an increase of spirit, okay, of 4%. We're going to want that. And our next very important one is going to be getting this jewel socket. This jewel from Nothing Diamond that gives us a ritual cadence, gives us a radius right here. This will not show up on Mobilytics, okay? But I did put it down in the description underneath the passive tree on which ones these are that you're going to want. Okay, these are more damage nodes. All right, that's what you want. All right, now for our regular jewels, you're going to want maximum energy shield, minions deal damage, and critical damage bonus. These are all DPS. Okay, but you want to make sure, try to max them out as much as you can without spending a whole lot of currency on it. But you definitely want that, and an increase in the energy shield as well. This one so happens to have critical hit chance, which that modifier does not help us at all because it does not go towards our minions, and it only goes towards the character itself, which it doesn't matter. We main three things we want is minions deal damage, minions deal increased critical damage bonus. Okay, those are 2 DPSs for our minions. Then we're also going to want to increase our energy shield, so we want 20%. At least do 20% max, okay, for your energy shield is what I would say. Okay, that's the same thing that goes over to this one as well. Critical damage bonus with this one as well is critical damage bonus, and minions deal 15% increased damage with 20% maximum energy shield. The critical damage bonus, treat that as your third priority. I would do maximum energy shield and minions deal damage, okay, increased damage. Minions deal damage of 15%. That is the max you're going to get on your jewels. All right, so as you can tell right here, we picked nothing but DPS nodes for our minions and energy shield nodes. That's all we picked. That's all we picked. That's what you want to do besides over here, okay? And we hit one of these to, you know, give our minions a little bit of you know, a little bit of buffer. Then we went and we got this one as well. Minions have a 40% increase critical damage bonus. If you really wanted to, you can grab that as well, but it will not increase your DPS. Keep that in mind, but just makes them have, you know, a little bit more. Okay, so a little bit more chaos damage. All right, so and for down here in this spot, if you really wanted to, level 95. Okay, now you're gonna notice on Mobilytics I took some extra nodes, which is these two right here. That'll be at level 94. Right now we're currently 92, but at level 93, which I already reflected at level 95, you can probably, for these ones right here, I will take this one, Empowering Remains, okay, and we hit 96, take this one as well. But I'll do the Empowering Remains first because it increased spell damage 40% for your minions. It has died recently, so if any of your minions have died, you get an increased 40% spell damage boost for your minions, all right, which is going to be your power zillions. Okay, I would recommend that one at level 95, level 96, take this other one. Okay, so basically with your skill tree, you're just going to do nothing but DPS nodes first, then you're going to move into your energy shield nodes. Okay, and for your freaking attributes, like I said, just get enough just to put your equipment on and to be able to use plus 21 skill gems, which is 157 intelligence is what you're going to need, and put the rest in strength. Okay, so with that being said, guys, that is the build of the Minion Infernalist. If you got any questions, pop into the channel when I go live, or sit there and leave a comment on this video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Okay, I do try to stream almost every day that I can possibly can. I do work 60 hours a week. I do a normal 9 to 5 job, which really ain't 9 to 5 job. It's 12-hour days, Monday through Friday. So keep that in mind. So I will, if I notice it when I'm looking at my phone and I see somebody comment, I'll try to respond to you accordingly and give you some pointers if you need any help with this build. Now, my top 3 of that I played so far, in order on my favorite for minion builds, which is a Shaman, Oracle, and Infernalist, I would say Infernalist is number 1, Shaman is number 2, and Oracle is number 3. Okay? Infernalist, in my opinion, is still top dog, and Shaman is super close or even tied, I would say, for, you know, close top dog for when it comes to minions. All right, so with that being said, guys, I'll catch you all later. All right, hashtag peanut game, baby, all day, every day. Deuces.